it got me to thinking that there's so many builders that we are never even aware of, and we never get to see any of their work. But with the internet access, a builder can put their work on a channel, and people from all over the country can see your work. So it's very important for your art to be seen, no matter how you get it out. Okay? One thing as an artist is I strive to spread the word that, get your art out, regardless of what medium you use. And this car right here was a very, very special build for me, and I enjoyed it so much. The name of this card is called Pride, by the way. And we're just going to go over some of the aspects of the build, and hopefully we can inspire some other artists out there to bring their work to the internet, maybe start a channel of their own. All right, let's start with this finish. All right, this finish is 3 coats of rustic mist is the name of the color. Just beautiful, gorgeous color. And it's wet sanded between each coat, and then we have 3 coats, very thin coats of clear. This car, if you've been following this build, this car originally was when I first started building it, it was a totally different color. I had a totally different theme going on with it. Found out about Big Rican's passing, and then dedicated this build from that day forward as a tribute build to him, and changed the color, and changed the theme, and basically fundamentally from that moment forward things fell into place. Been working on this build for a while. Y'all know how I build. I let my builds grow organically and just let them come to fruition as they come. But stance, we've got Model My 72 dragging the ground basically. Scratch built front suspension, scratch built rear suspension, fully custom fabricated, so it can set exactly the way I want it set. These wheels are actually scratch built wheels. One video I put out there on this build, it's in the archives if you go back and find it, kind of shows me actually assembling and fabricating these custom scratch built rim wheel setup. I think they totally set the car off. They're definitely a one-off, one-of-a-kind rim set. It's all about being unique with this build. Just being an artist, trying to relate my vision as it comes to me. One challenge that I gave myself on this build was to do some trick hinges. I wanted to do some trick hinges on this build. So I really challenged myself on this particular build, and we'll start with the hood here. Basically everybody has their hood opens up from the front to the back. Well, this one right here opens from the back to the front, like so, which in some circles is called like a piano hood. This particular trick setup I got is a special hinge. It's a floating horseshoe hinge is what I call it. So if I can get a shot of it. The rear trunk, we did a trick hinge on it to basically, fundamentally, trunk's open from, front to back. This one right here actually has got a trick hinge on it as well. And it's the same as the front. It's a floating. This is actually a floating C hinge, is what I call it. It's a floating C hinge. But basically, if you look at it, it looks like the trunk's floating. Trying to bring, magic, the allure, the illusion of magic in the build. The trunk right now is, just clean. I got this Pride trophy right here that I am gonna, keep in the back for now. I might add some other things in the back, but for right now, it's just that trophy. There's some 6x9s in the rear deck tray right there, if you can see through the window. Really trick setup here. Yeah, so you can see how the front hood floats. Again, that's a horseshoe floating hinge, trick hinge. The engineering in these hinges on this car was one of the areas that I wanted to challenge myself in, as I said, and I think I did it justice. Of course, the doors do open. I was gonna go with some of my other trick hinges that I've put on some of my other builds, but this one right here, it called for a special trick hinge setup. So as far as the engineering department was concerned, I told myself, do something that you've never done before. Break new ground, step your game up, inspire. So this is what I came up with, guys. You know, I like to think Big Rican's looking down from heaven and checking this ride out. And brother, I gave it wings. I put some gold wing hinges on this build to give it wings to fly up to heaven so Big Rican can drive it. And like I say, I went all out as far as the hinges go on this particular car, just because I think that I think it deserved that. It was one of those builds. So let's get to the engine here. This block is the block that comes out of the 1966 Pro Street Nova AMT kit. That was the basis for the engine. You know, I had a few different engines that I was going to go, but for some reason I ended up going with that one. And it turned out really, really good as far as the whole setup on the blower and everything. It was more of a visual. I was going more for a visual appeal of this engine, so aesthetically pleasing to the eye and pleasing to the build. So that was basically what I was going for with the engine. You know, we got electrical tape for the belt. We got the brass pulleys, chrome fan. We got blue spark plug wires, color-coded engine valve covers and headers, and also on the induction there. We got the block was painted with a Model Master color. It's some kind of sunrise, something sunrise. It was the same color I used on a 55 Ford build. If you go back to look at that 55 Ford Divine Sunrise build, that was the same block, except there's no clear on this particular. That was like a 2-part system setup paint job, but I just left this one with just the paint and no clear on the block. The firewall is a scratch-built mirror firewall. On the interior, we went with it's called light mocha. Is the color on the seats, the dash, even the wheels, the accents in the wheels on the disc brakes, and the accents on the engine, under the hood, the trunk, all that is the light mocha acrylic paint. The interior is a cloth interior, and I decided to go with a cashmere. So it's a cashmere cloth interior with light mocha accents. Actually, that steering wheel post is nail polish. It's actually nail polish on there. There's a couple of nail polish accents around on the dash and engine and under the chassis and stuff like that too. The steering wheel is actually a chrome steering wheel, a chrome chain steering wheel, and the gear shift is a stick pin, scratch built console. believe that chrome console actually came out of the 66 Pro Street Nova as well, if I can remember correctly. The speaker setup, I don't know if you can see back there or not, but there's a speaker setup. I actually printed that speaker box out of the decal sheet of the 67 what was that? The 67 Chevelle, and cut it out and glued it in with white glue, and the 6x9s too, both of those. Let's see. Like I say, we got the gull wing doors. Just wonderful, wonderful build, guys. I enjoyed this build thoroughly, and I hope everybody enjoys it as much as I did. Bringing it to the channel is just it's just an amazing piece of artwork.